Hi, my name is Kristin Kory. I'm a personal chef. And today I'm going to show you how to make the best buttery tasting biscuits. Start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt, 8 tablespoons of butter, very cold, cut up, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, cooled, and 3/4 cups of milk. First thing we're going to do is add our baking powder and our salt and mix that all up so it's well distributed. You could do this in a food processor if you want. I kind of like to do it with my hands so I can feel the chunks of butter. I do wear gloves just because it makes cleanup easier. So we're going to take the butter and we're slowly incorporate it into the flour. Now we do want the consistency to be like oatmeal, so that there's chunks of butter. So what the butter does is once it gets heated in the oven when it's baking, it creates steam, which is what gives you that those flaky layers, which make biscuits so good. So this just takes a little bit of work to get that butter incorporated. See, this is why I do like to use my hands. I can really feel it. If you do use a food processor, I strongly suggest just pulsing a couple times until you see the butter in chunks about the size of peas. But be careful not to overprocess, otherwise you're going to have gummy biscuits. So now the butter is incorporated, we're going to add our liquids, which is the melted butter and the milk. And we just want to incorporate this to form our dough. Once we have this all mixed, we're going to let this sit for 1 minute. And what that does is it gives the flour time to absorb all the liquids. Sometimes it doesn't do it instantly and we keep working it and then it's tough. So we'll let that rest for a minute. After it's been rested, we're going to flour our work surface. And we're getting ready to roll it out. We're going to create those layers so we get that real buttery taste. And I'm also going to flour my rolling pin. So we're going to take our dough and I'm going to start with kind of a square since we're working towards a square. Make it a rectangle and fold it into thirds. I'm going to do that one more time. Go rectangle and fold it into thirds. Now I'm going to roll it out so it fits in this 8 by 8 inch pan before we cut it. You could use round cutters, but you end up with waste that you have to re-roll. I like to do it this way, then there's no waste and you aren't sacrificing scraps of dough. So I fit it into my 8 by 8 that was floured and I turn it out. And you can make squares or triangles. I'm going to make triangles. So first I take it, make 4 squares, and then cut each square on the diagonal. So we'll have 16 biscuits. I cut them into triangles, and then I put them on my parchment lined pan. Then I'm going to put them in a preheated 450-degree oven and bake them for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just took these out of the oven after 10-15 minutes and they're done. That's how you make very buttery tasting flaky biscuits.